All right. And moving on to number 76 with 87 points. He was on Andretti and Mongoose's list. Mongoose had him at 54 and Andretti had him at 71. And that is Kevin Owens.
Yeah, very well respected guy, man. Very trusted. I think that that's probably what I kept coming back to when I was making my notes for Owens for this week. Trust. They keep going back to this guy because they trust this guy. You take a look at the Austin spot from WrestleMania from 2022. I don't even know what number they're on right now. I'm going by years at this point. But that the fact that they were the ones that they wanted working with Austin and that Austin wanted to work with him, it just shows a level of respect and a level of professionalism and a level of trust that everybody acknowledges and is really comfortable with him. And that's a big deal, man. I mean, when you're bringing in people from the outside that maybe they're celebrities or maybe they're people that haven't wrestled a really long time, that you have to make Steve Austin look strong, right? You got to make him look like he's the biggest ass kicker in the world. And the fact that Owens was in there selling and doing everything for him and making him look like $1 million, hats off to that guy, man. That might be his best accomplishment ever as a singles wrestler, is the fact that his performance against Austin in that match at WrestleMania was something that I think everybody's going to look back on that and be like, wow, what a great worker that guy really is. Underrated athleticism, I think, is another thing with him. Vince always had a problem with the t-shirt thing. Maybe even broke some barriers with that. I don't know. Maybe he didn't, maybe he did. But the fact that the guy's been wearing a shirt, all these years in the ring, I mean, nobody's done that. So nobody's really ever done that. So you've got a guy in there that's kind of broken the mold a little bit with that. But I mean, universal champion. I mean, that's what it is, right? You go back and I watched that. I watched that TLC match from 2020, in the pandemic with the fake crowd, him and Reigns in that TLC match. And those guys were killing each other, man. That match was unbelievable. So, the stuff he's done with Zayn is well documented over the course of time, with him and, the Ring of Honor run and being the indie darling all those years, then coming up and getting a big push in WWE. It's well deserved. I mean, he's a hell of a worker, man, and he's a guy that everybody trusts and everybody wants to work with. And to get that level of respect from your peers and from promotions when you're in an industry that is physical, I think is an unbelievable a vote of confidence for somebody. So hats off to that guy, man. I mean, he's somebody that is a future Hall of Famer, probably across the board. And I love watching him work. I don't love watching everybody work, but when Kevin Owens comes out, I watch everything he does.
Yeah, I'm a little sad that I didn't put Kevin Owens on my list. I feel like, like looking at my list, he's right around the 100 area for me. And I don't want to, and it's not for the fact that I don't like Kevin Owens or I don't think Kevin Owens is good. I didn't know where to put him. Like, should I put him high on my list? Should I put him in the middle of the list? I didn't know. And I feel like there's more meat on the bone for Owens for him to climb. And I feel like if we do this list again, he's definitely going to be in my list. And Owens was one of the reasons why I started NXT in the first place, because him turning on Sami Zayn at that NXT show was one of the things that got me hooked back into wrestling. When I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm back. I want to watch that. I want to watch that guy. So I want to credit like that angle as getting me back into wrestling and caring about, NXT and all that. So, he's a Triple H guy, like we already mentioned earlier in the show. He literally got handed that belt, that Universal Championship belt, because Triple H came out and pedigreed. I can't even remember who was it. Dean, was it Ambrose? I can't even remember anymore who he pedigreed. Was it Rollins?
Yeah.
I can't even remember. He pedigreed somebody and literally just handed that belt right to Owens, and that was on a Raw. So like, it's crazy that happened. And but yeah, I like that. I really like Owens. He definitely deserves a spot on the list. I just was so torn on where to put him that I just didn't put him in there at all, which sucks on my part. So but yeah, I mean, he's been all over the place. He was an indie darling. He's a Ring of Honor world champion whenever Ring of Honor mattered. He was best brawler in the Observer newsletter. He won best brawler from 2010 to 2012.
Yeah, 3 years in a row, 3 years straight.
Yeah, and he was in feud of the year with El Generico and or Sami Zayn. He was NXT champion, Universal champion, two-time Intercontinental champion, US champion, Raw Tag Team champion, SmackDown champion, and he is the 16th Grand Slam champion.
The one thing I wanted to say here too, I was looking through this list. I just want to put this promotion over because it's pretty fun to watch. North Shore Pro Wrestling. He was the North Shore Pro Wrestling champion one time. That is a Canadian promotion. It's a little French sometimes whenever you watch it, but if you can find those North Shore shows, all of those shows are fun to watch. So if you're looking again, man, we're trying to just expand people's horizons, right? If you're looking for indie wrestling that is pretty damn good and fun to watch every show, go find North Shore. I believe it's on Fight. I believe it's on Fight Plus. I believe it is. But go find it, man. Go find that and check it out. That's a really fun indie promotion to check out.
Kevin Owens is in that interesting generation, sort of after WCW, where it was either you're WWE or you're an indie guy. And he was top of the heap as an indie guy, worked, with the Bucks, with Adam Cole, Sami Zayn, aka El Generico, and really made a name for himself and really made the indies hot with the work that he did. And then came a time where he made the jump to WWE and was kind of in that first class of black and gold brand folks who, rose out of, the perception that indie guys are not WWE guys and made it to the top in the WWE as well. Obviously, he went through NXT, was an NXT champion. He was a Triple H guy. Came to the main roster, was a Universal champion, big storylines. He's a Triple Crown champion. He was recently just working with Sami Zayn again. They're on again, off again, but they're, real life best friends or whatever. But I think, the big endorsement here is that he was picked by Stone Cold to work at Mania with him. And while he's not a Vince kind of guy, he's believable and he can work with anybody. So definitely something to be said for Kevin Owens and his overall impact, sort of being in that forefront of moving from the indies through NXT to the main roster and succeeding there where others may not have. So I think Kevin Owens definitely deserves to be on the list, and he's still doing great work today. He's he just got traded to SmackDown, and he's kind of working on his own again. So looking forward to see